Okay. First item on the, Shayna is not gonna make it tonight. She just landed in Hartford. And she texted me that her, she was late and was not gonna make it on time. With that, we have, the, minutes for the November 15th meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes of the Board of Selectmen of November 15, 2016.
I'll second it. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. November 28th special meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes of November 28, 2016 special meeting of the Board of Selectmen.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Okay, correspondence. Let's see, we did get correspondence from SHR Energy that you have in your packet, information to read and talking about his deadline for the project that he had proposed.
Those are the emails you're referring to?
Yes. Yep. That went out to Board of Ed, Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance, Economic, Building, Planning, and Zoning Board of Appeals. So that's there for your reading. Teague sent over their annual report. That'll be in the office if you so choose to, you want to send us one copy? You want to take a look at it, it'll be in there. All right, Chamber of Commerce, marketing opportunities. There was they have something, it was on December 1st, it has gone by. This is all part of the Chamber of Commerce and their meetings that they have on a regular basis. Okay, you also got notification that they're gonna be upgrading the railroad crossing flashers and gates over here at Main Street, right across from here. You should have, oh, you didn't get it. So DOT is just notifying us that they are upgrading the flashers and the gates. Okay, you're invited, holiday business after hours program to benefit the Tommy Toy Fund. Wednesday, December 14th, 5 to 7 p.m., 182 Main Street, Putnam. This is the Chamber of Commerce. $7 for members, $13 for non-members. Anybody wishing to go, and they do request that you do bring a toy. Connecticut Water sent some information on the public water system and that they are planning for a future expansion, etc. Well, this has to do with the water utility coordinating committees. This is an ongoing thing that they're doing and this is information for Connecticut Water. Connecticut Water is our public water here. So there's some information that you can read at your leisure on that. I don't remember if you got this, Steve, from that meeting. I think you did.
I sent the meeting, yep.
And okay, what I did include in that is a comparison chart for you to compare CERC and.
Okay.
All right. No, I just so you can review that, so we can have a discussion. And we did ask for some of his. God, my mind is shot here for a second. References, and we're checking. We've reached out and we're looking at some of the people he may have.
You know, with before and so forth.
Yeah, and see how they. And we'll get that information back and I'll pass that on to the board. So we're waiting for that to come in. All right, I did get a letter from the, and you have it there, from the Thompson Together Inc. concerning the potential River Mill demolition. And basically it says that they're on board and they strongly agree with the resolution that we had done in our previous meeting to, that it's not in the CCM is having a legislative committee meeting. They do these every couple of months on a regular schedule. Tuesday, December 13th, 9 to 11 a.m. in Cromwell. It's kind of the middle of the state where everybody knows it. So I left it if you wish to attend, taking up on some stuff. If I'm capable of getting down there, I would like to go, but I'm not gonna promise anything at this moment. They do follow up with minutes and stuff as to what has transpired. I did get a Southern New England Telephone Company personal property. They're declaring the property that they do have on the town between building and towers. Just some general information, because the report is now Frontier where it was before, was notifying us. I do have the minutes. I can make you a copy of the siting council. Let's see. Minutes of November 10th. Their next meeting is December 8th, 1 p.m. in Britain. And this is for the various cell phones, solar projects and stuff that the site council works with. Thames Valley Council for Community Action Inc., which is the meals program. They just sent us a letter of thank you for our continued support of their program. Okay. NECOG is having their annual meeting on the 15th at 12 p.m. Pomfret Rectory, Pomfret School. The instructions are there. If you wish to attend, you have to RSVP. That I will be attending. When we went to the CCM convention, this was one of the people that I had talked with about the pothole patching. You know, because it's warm stuff that they put in.
Yep.
You know, when it's cold, they sent out a proposal, which is pretty generic, and I'm gonna pass this on to Leo, so that way he can have a go at it and see how.
Pothole killer.
Yeah, this is, we were, NECOG was possibly looking at a truck for this in the past that we didn't, you know, like the grapple truck.
Yep.
And it didn't happen. But this was the type of idea where you could fill it in by yourself instead of buying a truck. They,
To share on the.
yeah, I mean, you can do 11,000 pounds at $3,500, which equals $22 a pothole and all stuff. So it's an alternative. So I'm going to pass that on to Leo. Moving along, info from USDA concerning the pump station and sewer system upgrades. If I'm correct, this has to do with the WPCA project. So it's some information from USDA that you can read. Also, they did send out the letter for the home energy audits, and just everybody should have gotten it. And I just figured I'd put it in the back of the show that it had gone out. And we do have the United Services annual report as well, one copy. So that'll be in there with magazines and reviews, so we should take a gander at it. That's all I have. Do you have anything, Steve?
No correspondence, no.
All right. Selectmen's comments. Hopefully everybody had a good holiday for Thanksgiving. Weather was good. Not as good as it was yesterday, is what we had. We go out Sand Roads, and there was a 2-hour delay for the schools, and accidents everywhere as people were getting used to driving in inclement weather again. And we are expecting some inclement weather, possibly in the morning. Hopefully it stays up in the western hills. So, quick update on with that as well. Leo did do paving again today. He's trying to finish up Fabian Road, the sections that he had hoped to get done, you know, for the winter, they were out there all day today. Plants are getting ready to close, they're supposed to go into the deep freeze, and he's hoping, figures he's got probably another half a day or so in Fabian, and just some driveway aprons to finish up, between Reardon and the doing of Porter Plain when we redid that. So if he gets that done, we'll be in good shape, and then he'll be into the regular maintenance that, you know, we don't have to worry about for asphalt plants. So that is moving along. We do have the meeting coming up on the 12th for the, over at the library, with notice of special town meeting, December 12th, 7 PM at the Louis P. Fosher Community Room at 7 PM, and that is to approve the request that, of 48.6 for the fire department equipment. So please get the word out, have people attend that, and come down and cast your votes and get this approved to help out our fire departments. I can't think of anything else that comes to mind at this moment.
I know you've been, obviously tied up. I see, is that another recorder? Did we actually get an MP3
Oh.
recorder?
Very good, glad you brought it up.
Great.
Since our last meeting, we did go out and we did purchase 2 recorders with the proper MP3 format, so we don't have to worry about converting and relying. Tonight is the first night that we're using it, which is gonna allow us to put that up. Tina will be able to download that right in, give it to Marie, and we can get that up. And as well, we have put up the last couple of recordings for November up on the site. We have run into a snag where Mr. Stratus says we do not have enough storage capacity. So I don't know, going by what Mr. Stratus said. We are looking into it to make sure, and we're gonna verify it through HostGator, which is where we have that. So I'm gonna be finding that out as well. And we have put up all of the 2013 minutes from the, that we have, and we will be continuing to work to put them up as well.
Excellent.
That is moving along. And speaking of the website, yeah, that's it, that will cover that.
And if I might ask
Sure.
another question? I don't, again, I know
Go ahead.
you've had other priorities. The storm sewer project,
The MS4?
Yes.
MS4, we're gonna, just to bring you up, and we have not set the date yet, I've got a meeting coming up with the state to do our site, our inspections.
Right.
It's something that they have to do.
Okay, right.
So they're gonna be coming out in January. I have not done anything further with the MS4.
So we have to do our permitting and.
Yes,
proposal
and
for-
it's gotta-
for
it's gotta-
April, April,
yes.
it is, so.
And
we
the-
can move forward on
Correct,
that.
we're gonna be moving forward on that, and I'm still working with the town attorney on the conflict of interest that we need to deal with,
Well, and
on
also,
that ordinance.
and
So-
also, Ken, I would just suggest that, again, there are many other, and there's nothing against the.
Oh, no, I'm talking in general.
Right, and
conflict
I
of
am too.
interest.
Nothing against the current proposal
Nope.
that's in front of us. There's a, you know, a conflict, potential conflict there, but there are also many other companies that provide that service who might,
There
do a very
is,
good job, or, and again, there's absolutely no, I
No.
don't say that because there's anything wrong with the proposal you have with the firm that made the proposal. Nothing at all against them, but there are other firms that do provide that, and this is, you know, thousands of dollars, so it's worth looking at maybe some other options for this.
yeah,
particular firm.
I'm still pushing NECOG.
Right, but we've got.
No, I'm saying, I'm still pushing NECOG to get their decision done, and I've also reached out to our consultant that does the transfer station as well.
Okay,
Okay, but I'm saying, I'm looking at
okay, good.
a variety of places, not,
Because
yes.
I'm not don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to,
Nope,
I'm not trying to go in any particular direction, I just wanna make sure.
I'm not either.
We look at other options as well, and there are other options, and I thought NECOG was sort of a no, that's why
If, since we pay into NECOG and so forth, it'd be a logical way to go.
Right, I
Okay.
appreciate that.
But I'm trying to, you know, we don't need to be behind, scrambling at the last moment because of their, exactly.
And again, that's sort of the point I
Yeah,
wanted to end
so I'm
which is-
pushing them as well to, you know, to come up
Right, and
with
again, I just
something
want-
expeditiously, because everybody's in the same problem.
Right.
You know, whether it's us, Putnam, Killenly, Woodstock, we all get the same
Yeah,
issues.
and again, my point is that
Mhm.
April's gonna be here before we know it,
Yes, it
and
is.
all of a sudden we're scrambling or
Yep.
being default kind of thing, so. And again, there were many firms that, many engineering firms that offered the kind of services, in addition to the one proposal that
Yes.
you had, and I just didn't want it to slip.
No, it has not.
I really have no other comments than those two issues.
Moving on with that, citizens' comments. Linda?
Linda John Lovett, 7 Dennis Drive. You asked people to come to the town meeting to support it. I don't understand why you would schedule it next Monday when there's 2 board meetings that were previously scheduled a year ago. They had set those dates. I know it was probably the first available date after it was posted and you could legally do it, but if you would have looked at the town calendar 2 days later, you could have had it and there wasn't anything going on.
I did not know there was other meetings. And the date was worked out with the town clerk in order to make it work.
And the town
Okay.
clerk and the selectmen do not look at the town calendar?
It was an oversight. We will do our best not to have it happen again. Anything else on that? Thank you. Raise your hands, all of us.
Mike Krogel, Walker Drive. I understand that you have received a copy of the Board of Ed proposal for the request for proposals. And I just have a couple of questions. It says in the proposal here that the town will provide an area for the buses to be stored for $2,500 a month. Was that ever discussed in any of the previous meetings for the Board of Selectmen?
What I will, I did, you did,
You're referring to
the
The
RFP.
RFP
The RFP.
for advertising.
for privatizing?
Yes. Have you looked at your?
I've received it, I have not read the whole proposal.
You did get it.
I didn't get it, I got it
All right.
yesterday.
I did send it out to you, as well as Shana. No, we were not consulted on this at all, on whether the value of the buses and or the highway garage. When we did, and Steve was there, as well as Shana, when we had the meeting at the library, there was a good discussion about what the Board of Ed has control over and what the town side has control over as well. With that, we knew the RFP was going out. They did put that in there. I did have a conversation with Dr. Jolin. I expressed my concerns because this is not negotiated. He had said that they threw numbers in there based on their consultant, and that everything was open to negotiation. So, as far as the Board of Selectmen, we have not gone into any negotiations or anything with this, or made any determinations of what the fleet is worth, or what we would, store the buses at the highway garage and what that would entail. So, when we do get the RFPs back and so forth, then we will have a good discussion on that as a board as to what the proposals are and what we feel is appropriate.
Okay, well, I'm new at this sort of game of politics here, but if this is a proposal, you can't just throw numbers out there and say it's negotiable. This is the written proposal that's submitted. I don't understand. I understand what you're telling me is you're in the dark about this, but it does not make any sense.
I don't disagree with you. I express my concerns to the superintendent.
When this goes forward, discussing the sale of the buses and or leasing the property for the storage of the buses, there will be an open meeting, scheduled meeting
Usually under normal conditions, there's a bid opening proposal, then there's a review of the bids, and there may be interviews of the, you know, the individual companies that they may wish to engage in the
Right,
discussion.
and they say they're opening the bids, I don't know, the 18th or something of that nature?
That could very
It
well
says
be.
in here, but
Mhm.
seeing as the town owns the buses, I'm assuming that it would have to at least come to a public discussion somewhere. Am I correct on that?
I'm sure that it will come up in discussion at some point.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Robert Mann, 15,
That's fine.
Robert Mann, 15 Meadow Drive. Winnie had an article on how Pomfret had some issues about oil, coal and coal-based road products, with people getting sick. I believe it was Long Meadow Road. And I just wanted to know if Thompson, when they did their chip sealing, and what type of products are the contractors using or the town using on our roads? Not that I have an issue with it now, obviously it's done, but we'd like to know, you know, I think a lot of people in town would like to know what's being used.
I currently don't have what the material is. I can get that. I know when we go out and we do our chip sealing, it's based on what the state uses.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Mr. Bear, you didn't even raise your hand. Go ahead.
Paul Bear, Thompson Road. First, regarding the bus RFP, you put an RFP out there with numbers in it. What are you negotiating afterwards? You're gonna have companies bid to the or put proposals together for the RFP. Thompson's going to get a reputation for don't waste your time with proposals. You had that with solar projects, where people wouldn't even bid the job. You had that library, they wouldn't even, you couldn't get any bids, because they don't wanna do business. Because you changed the game. Oh, we're gonna negotiate this after you wasted all your time putting together a proposal? Companies don't like wasting money, unlike the town of Thompson. Conflict of interest ordinance. So we don't like the rules, now we're gonna say, we don't care. We're gonna get rid of the conflict of interest ordinance? It's been there. How about abide by the ordinance? The people don't get to decide and say, I don't like my tax bill, I'm gonna get rid of it. You have a conflict of interest ordinance. You can't get an ethics ordinance in town because apparently ethics is something we don't wanna live by here. The ethics committee has gone by the wayside. And now you're spending money, once again, how many Bentley payments are you making for the attorneys? It's like every time somebody wants to go to the bathroom, you have to hire an attorney. Speaking of that, the town is being sued regarding Star Road. And apparently the town doesn't believe in following the rules. And they filed, one of the defendants filed a motion for a status conference. Because according to Mr. Penny, attorney for one of the defendants, the town is delinquent in transmitting a certified list of papers in the record to all parties. Parties need to establish contents of the record and set a scheduling order. So now there's a hearing schedule. So now we can pay the attorney to go to a hearing. Apparently the other parties were waiting for information. I'm sure you got it, or you should have, from the town attorney. So he's got to answer that. There's more money. Let's keep spending money on the attorneys. Failing to respond to interrogatories and depositions is how you get sanctions. Apparently Thompson got a lot of money. You can spend it in sanctions if the court feels that you aren't responsive. We had the FY case in Hartford. And originally, Mr. postal aide told me you weren't authorizing any payments for attorney's fees. And to date, we spent close to $3,000. I said it before, the FOI commission is a joke in Connecticut. They haven't issued a civil penalty or fine in over 7 years. But yet the town of Thompson figured it was fiscally responsible to spend close to $3,000 in legal fees, defending a commission that goes to the hearing and admits to most of the charges in the complaint. I don't understand this. It was very simple. Could have actually picked up the phone and we wouldn't have to go to any hearings. But I don't understand this, let's hire attorneys, we have to have an attorney. The Ethics Committee, I'd like to know where that's going. You have members who worked real hard on that, and it's gone by the wayside. How about the Fire Advisory Committee? We have anything going there? We had someone who was gonna gung-ho come in and didn't need to have the committee reformed, he was gonna do the report. Months go by, nothing, no report. Now, then we hear, oh, he wants to get paid for it. Great civic mindedness. And here we are months later after we found that out, and I'll put money on it that nothing's happened since a couple of months ago when we decided we weren't gonna do anything unless he got paid. The website and the recording. I would like to know at the end of the meeting, or when Tina goes to put the file, the MP3 file up on the website, the size of the file. Because I did read the Winnie article that you stated that the MP3 files are so much smaller and there's a size problem. So I'd like to know what the file size is from tonight's meeting. Regarding HostGator, unless your web administrator changed something, the previous contract with HostGator was unlimited storage. There were no limits. Storage is cheap. I find it really interesting that all of a sudden he's saying, oh, we don't have storage, you gotta pay me. Essentially, let's buy something else and spend some more money. Because when I was doing it, HostGator said there was no limit to the storage. That's why you had as many files up there that you did. You had almost 5,000 files on the website of old minutes up there. And now all of a sudden there's a storage problem. This is an issue that's come up and remains. Boards, commissions, and committees, vacancies not filled, and no-show members. Particularly in the Wetlands and Conservation Commission, where you have members who haven't been there in months and have a deplorable attendance record, but yet they're allowed to stay on. You have a new member of the building committee that didn't attend the first meeting that he was on. If people aren't showing up for these meetings, they're placeholders. And the spaces need to be opened up, and it needs to be advertised for people to get involved. Town vehicle, I'm sure you got the message. Apparently town employees don't care about our town vehicles. They parked it out there and left it overnight with the windows open. The night that it snowed. Doesn't take a lot to check to make sure the window's open after you use it. Maybe, I doubt anything would come by it, but maybe there should be some ramifications for not taking care of the town property. The sewer, I'm sure that's still stuck in the snow. I was corrected that when I said that people didn't want to pay to hook up to the sewer, that's why it ran through the woods. I was told that they had already had an agreement where if your system was operational, that you wouldn't have to hook up. But I believe you'd also have to pay frontage fees. And there's a lot of people who got away without paying frontage fees with it running through the woods, and it's going nowhere. I made a previous offer to the fire departments for a convention, that I would supply an airline ticket to send someone from the fire departments to go and take part in national training and seminars. From the people I spoke to, nothing was passed along. So, last night I attended a meeting of one of the local fire departments and brought it to them directly. And I brought it to another department directly, since the Board of Selectmen didn't feel that it was a good idea that maybe someone in town go to a national convention and avail us of some training. You seem to spend money, $3,000 for the attorneys for the FOI complaint. Certainly would have been better spent sending somebody to training. Thank you, I'll wait for round two.
Okay, moving on, anybody else? You said you were good, for round two, I'm gonna hold you to it.
It's fun to hold people to things.
Go for it, Paul.
Item number 8 on tonight's agenda says building committee request for funds for recording secretary. They're requesting funds, or you've already decided to give it to them? Because according to their minutes, they've already hired a recording secretary, and they've got money that's approved by the Board of Selectmen. So I'm not sure why it's on here as a request.
Well, this selectman doesn't know about it, so.
Oh, well, it's in their minutes from their last meeting, November 30th. That they've already received approval. Chairman Rice approached the selectmen, and they agreed to provide funds for recording secretary going forward in 2017. Daniel Pedersen will be appointed as recording secretary before our next meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the
The road list.
oh, sorry.
I think it.
There's nothing,
They'll have no.
No, Leo has not had
feedback from
time.
Leo.
He is scrambling to get the last of the winter work done before we move on.
Thanks for the little updating.
Okay.
Maybe next time? The paving's gotta be done, I'm sure.
Yeah, 'cause we're down to days of when it's, we're gonna be closing
It'd be
the
nice to know
plants.
what's gonna cost us to do the roads that, on our
And
proposed list here.
is aware of it.
I think he would know that, wanna know himself,
What's that?
what the cost are of the projects in front of him.
He has a general idea, but based on the information that you're requesting, he's gonna have to figure it out more in depth.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We had the discussion, and we did have a discussion with the, we did make the Board of Finance aware, if you remember, on that intertown capital equipment, ICE purchase incentive program, which is spearheaded by the town of Killenly along with Woodstock and us, with the understanding that it is not in our budget, but, and they are willing, because the truck is a year out and so forth. They need to have this resolution done by Woodstock, us, and Killingly. Woodstock has done theirs, Killingly has done theirs, and they brought it to our attention that we need to approve the resolution, that we're on board in order to complete the grant application process. So, with that, he did supply the grant, Intertown Capital Equipment ICE Purchase Incentive Program, Resolution of Endorsement and Authorization. The Legislative Board of the Town of Thompson, Connecticut convened on Tuesday, December 6, 2016, and adopted a resolution by the vote of, which will be filled in, which endorsed the Intercapital Equipment Ice Purchase Incentive Program, proposal listed below, referenced in Connecticut General Statute Sections 4-66M, as amended by Public Act 15-170, purchase of a 2017 Western Star grapple truck for debris management. In addition, the legislative body has authorized Kenneth Bosolei, First Selectman, to act on this endorsement by signing all necessary agreements and take all necessary actions related to this proposal to enter into a binding agreement with the Office of Policy and Management according to the terms of the ICE grant program. Dated at Thompson, Connecticut, the 6th day of December 2016. It's Board of Selectmen Kenneth Bosolei, Shana Smith, and Stephen Herbert. So in order
I'll
to,
second, that was a
I'll
motion.
make it the motion, I read it.
And I'll second that.
Go ahead.
And let's talk about this for a second.
Sure.
And I understand this is a resolution to allow you to take appropriate action, and we endorse the program.
Correct.
I can understand that, and this is really a sort of a question, but this says you sign all necessary agreements and take necessary actions related to enter a binding agreement to, if I understand right, to acquire this vehicle. Am I reading that right?
It's based on the program that is, what do you call, shared by the three towns.
Right, I understand
Yes.
that. But because of the dollars involved here, doesn't this require approval from the town? It's because of the dollars involved?
We have not, they're securing the grant with about rough, just under a $20,000,
Under 20,
yes,
comes in under 20.
comes in under 20.
Okay, I thought it was 20, which would have,
20 puts it into a town meeting.
exactly right, that's,
Yes.
that was my,
Yes, you're right, Steve, 100%. It comes in under 20,
comes in under 20.
and that was relayed to the Board of Finance when we had that
Okay,
discussion,
so then, okay.
that there was no money up front, and it was made known to the Randy, I forget what his name is,
Whatever.
Burchard,
Okay,
that we,
okay.
it was
So-
never
so
in our
then
budget.
And you will be able to take the necessary actions. Again, because if it was over 20, I don't think you'd be able to.
It's gotta go to a town meeting, that's correct.
Okay, so
Yep.
we're okay.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Thank you for your time.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, in case we need a third.
Sure. And this is gonna be 2-0?
This is only me and you.
Right.
Just-
Oh, this is the other.
Yeah, just sign this, just in case we have an issue.
Sure. So if it goes over 20, then this is kind of null and void then?
That would end up being a legal issue at that point. Then it would have to go to the town meeting, which is what they did for the
Fair enough.
old fence mount. Thank you. Okay, we have an appointment for James Lee, Housing Authority. He had fulfilled the unexpired term of another person that had resigned. He wishes to be reappointed, and the Housing Authority wishes to have him reappointed.
Sounds great.
Okay, Town of Thompson Selectmen's Office, North Carolina, Connecticut, December 6, 2016. Reappointment, James Lee is hereby reappointed to serve as a member of the Housing for the Town of Thompson, term to end October 31st, 2021. Kenneth Bosolei, Shana Smith, Stephen Herbert, it's Board of Selectmen. I'll make that a motion.
Ken, I'll second that. Did we get an application or anything?
We had the original from the beginning, and we did get correspondence, I believe, from Suzanne Wachowski that had endorsed putting him back on as a reappointment.
Suzanne is, right, as.
She's on the Housing
You have
Authority.
correspondence from her recommending
I
this?
believe Marie has it.
But you've gotten that, and that's her recommendation?
Yes, it was, that
That
was,
I wonder if you wouldn't mind next time, if you would maybe stick it in my packet.
this,
Well, or the application or whatever, little backup.
yeah, a lot of times with reappointments, they don't,
There's nothing there.
there's usually nothing there as a whole. Usually it's somebody that wants to come on for
Sure.
the first time, we're reappointing, he's already been on it, he wishes to continue serving, and, unless there's a compelling reason. Okay, which brings us up now to building committee request for funds for recording secretary. John?
Just a couple of the process that the committee, I did talk to Mr. Bosaret prior to that meeting to see if there would be funds available to hire a secretary. We were having a meeting in a few days from then, so I put it on the agenda and for the committee to approve the hiring a secretary based on the approval of selectmen for funds. We can't hire somebody without having the funds available. So it was probably putting the cart before the horse, but we just try to get things done with the limited time. So basically, this secretary is not gonna proceed or be on a payroll till the January meeting, but I just proceeded to see if we could get the funds, because I'm under the belief that Kenny or the selectmen will have to go to the Board of Finance for that money, unless there's money somewhere. But that was the process, is that we didn't, and that was understood by the applicant that we talked to for that job, that based on the approval of the selectmen for funds, or else we're not gonna have a secretary. Simple as that.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here, Ray had been doing it in the past? And he is,
But as you know,
yep,
the scope of work is gonna
you're gonna be taking
increase
on more
quite a
projects.
bit, yeah.
We do not, go ahead, ask my question.
And maybe the funds are available, or are we gonna be asking for additional funds?
We do not have funds, there is no line item for this at all.
It's not available, then?
None at all.
No place we can seek them out, or nothing?
I am looking at one thing, and I was gonna elaborate on that after we were done
Oh,
with
okay.
John. I think, John, you estimated what, about $900?
$900 carries through,
Which is, that's
Till the budget.
how many meetings is that?
Through the rest of the
Six.
fiscal year.
there'll be 6 meetings that would take us through the budget
To
cycle, then we
the
would
end
ask
of June?
ask
essentially?
money.
Essentially to the end of June, is that what you're thinking?
I'm sorry?
That's through the end of June? Is that what
Yes.
you're thinking?
What I am, based on what they're doing, I'm looking for a recording secretary because of the project. Since we have talked, I have not gotten into it, because it was after our last selectmen's meeting, when I spoke with John, when he approached me. We currently have some funds in our office, currently, based. So I have, since I have been out of the office for a couple of weeks, and operating from home, as we know, I have not had a chance to have more of a discussion on this. With the funds that we have, it is possible that, and I have to approach one of our 2 people in the office, and they'd be willing to do it. Because it comes out of our line item for that. If it is agreeable and they're willing to do it, then I do have the overtime hours, et cetera, in there. We do not have to go for funding.
Your meetings
through the
are
Board of
evenings, during the day?
Evening, 6
Okay.
o'clock usually.
So I need to approach that person. In the meantime, I don't have an answer. We can table this till the next meeting. No matter what, we would have to put the Board of Finance, if we are requesting, because it isn't in the budget, it would have to come out of contingency, and roughly to cover the recording secretary for them.
Well, I mean, we want we have some big issues for the building committee to look at, and
Yes.
no doubt about it, and it probably is very appropriate that they be properly recorded. I don't think there's any issues on that either. And it is, as someone's been pointed out, subject to approval kind of thing, but that's not progress because of that issue. Go ahead.
Fred?
If I may, the only suggestion I may have, the committee would like to have the continuity of a secretary. This is the first I hear about another individual coming to do that. In that, once we start these large programs, 6 months down the road, to have a new person come in and try to, with the files and all the things that we have to, RFPs and everything we have to do, I think it's helpful for a secretary to be knowledgeable where we started
Oh,
around the
okay.
floor
Good point.
for a minimum of $900.
And then we can turn around and budget in the next budget coming
Right.
in, which is understandable when we take that up in February.
Well, but
For the
if
next
but if
fiscal
the
year.
funds, if you're gonna, if the funds are available, the individual doing the recording is a separate question than the funding. Right?
Yeah, I was looking at not going to ask for funds from the Board of Finance if I possibly could, even though we have it in contingency,
Go ahead.
okay? Because I forget the amount, whether it's 80,000 or whatever it is in
Right.
contingency. It is there for these type of situations
Right.
where there isn't something that's budgeted or there's a cost overrun
Right.
or something. So I hadn't talked to the individual. They usually have their meetings here.
No, we moved them to the school, the conflict of dates,
Now you're
so
gonna go
we
to the
have
school.
them at the school.
That I was not aware of.
So, I mean, it's sort of I think two point, one is the funding, if that's available in the selectman's office budget, so to speak.
But that,
That's one sort of,
but if it's funding, it would have to come out of our staff in our
and
office. It has to be done by our staff, because that's where the money is. In order to use funds for anything other that's in the line items in the budget, you have to ask the Board of Finance, and that requires a transfer of funds.
okay, from one line to a different line. I
Correct.
understand. I understand.
So, at which point, they will need a recording secretary, there will be additional funds that will be needed. It came in, because we have to put the Board of Finance,
But the dollars in total would be the same, you're just suggesting if it's someone from.
if it was at a, right, if it was something that could be done by one of the staff here,
Current staff.
current staff. It was a thought that I had.
If the person that were, that the committee,
Wishes-
proposed,
Yep.
proposed to hire is a town employee already, what's the transfer of monies from one entity being the town to the school? I don't know.
We don't.
No, well, the school, they can't, because it has to be the town, and that's a town committee, not necessarily, but.
I'm not sure your point.
Well, I was just wondering,
Figure the
well, he was
transfer
trying to
money to
find, you
one
were
bucket.
trying to find money, you know, that it had to be out of the current secretary, whomever
Yeah.
is in that office, that she would have to do it because it's her line item, the secretary, I'm not sure if that. Or is it just easier to go to
Well,
the board, is it easier to go to the Board of Finance and ask for $900?
The Board of Selectmen have to do that, to put the.
Right, I know.
Yes.
I guess in total, the dollars are gonna be the same, whether.
No matter
it's-
what.
Yeah, one way or the other. so
Still
maybe-
town funds.
so it doesn't really- So it's a question of whether we have to make the Board of Finance to transfer from one place to another or not.
And this is one of, what the Board of Finance has done in the past when we have gone over on certain line items. We've made them aware, they,
They normally reach it.
they're reasonable, they say, okay, we'll make those changes, we're on board with it, we'll make those changes at the end of the year. And, but we do need to put them on, you know, to advise them that
Sure.
we had never prepared for any type of recording
So,
secretary
so
for
the
that committee.
dollars in total are really the issue.
Yeah, it's estimated roughly $900, so. Our next meeting for that is, when is the next Board of Finance team?
Well, if you'd like to move on this,
Yeah.
I understand the issue, I'm happy to vote on it if you'd like to make that, move that forward.
Yeah, I'll move that we notify and
take us into the next budget where we can.
Right, when you can actually budget it.
In order to cover the recording secretary for the building committee. All in favor? And they, again, that may be just a blessing, and they'll say, we'll do the transfers at the end of the year. Okay. Other business? You have anything?